Hello students, this is Waqar Ahmed, your economics teacher from Cambridge International School, Dasua. And in today's class, we will start a new chapter which is foreign exchange rate. And this foreign exchange rate is a very popular topic in our daily life as well. As you are aware, a lot of people from India and especially Punjab migrate to North America, Canada, or European countries. And what is the main reason behind that? Or, for example, a lot of Western countries, North America, Canada, they establish their production units in India, China, Cambodia, Vietnam. Why is that? What is the basic purpose behind both of these activities? We will get to know the answer of these questions and these type of other questions in this chapter. So let us start. And before moving any further, I would like you to know that some of the terms you will be hearing for the first time in your life. So you need not to feel pressurized or intimidated by them. We will try together to make these topics as simpler as possible for you to understand. So let us start with the first topic. Foreign exchange. It refers to all the currencies of the world other than the domestic currency. For example, we are living in India, and from our point of view, Indian rupees is the domestic currency, and all other currencies, be it US dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, British pound, or euro, or Chinese yuan, or Japanese yen, all these currencies are foreign exchange for an Indian. So what is foreign exchange? All the currencies other than the domestic currency are known as foreign exchange. It is just a one line definition. It refers to all the currencies of the world other than the domestic currency. Now comes foreign exchange market. Like every good or every service has got a market, but we will be talking about financial markets. And as you must have heard that there are stock markets everywhere. New York Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, Hong Kong Stock Exchange. All these are examples of share markets, means those markets where shares are traded, shares are bought and sold. Similarly, what about foreign exchange? There are foreign exchange markets or forex markets everywhere in the world which deals only and only in currencies. So foreign exchange market is a market where the buyers and sellers are involved in the sale and purchase of foreign currency, or a market where the currencies of different countries are bought and sold is called the foreign exchange market. Basically both of these are meaning same. The foreign exchange market is a market in which foreign currencies are bought and sold. And just for the sake of your knowledge, the total volume of foreign currencies traded in forex market is far greater than the total value of share market of all the countries put together. First thing. Second thing, foreign exchange market is the only market of the world which works 24/7 into 365, meaning it never stops working because it works according to sunrise and sunset. Initially, foreign exchange market of Australia opens. Then when there is kind of the time of their closure arrives, foreign exchange market of Asian countries starts working. When Asian foreign exchange market closes, near about at that time, the foreign exchange markets of Western Europe and North America starts functioning. So basically, foreign exchange market works round the clock. Its volume or its total value is far greater than the share markets of all the countries put together. These are just two characteristics, or just to make you aware about the specialities of foreign exchange markets. Basically, foreign exchange markets are those markets where foreign currencies are bought and sold. Who uses foreign exchange market, why they use foreign exchange market, all these topics will be covered later on in this chapter after making you understand some more basic things. So now comes the first main topic of the chapter, which is foreign exchange rate. And all of us have heard or experienced this topic at some time in our life. For example, we have heard in news or newspapers that rupee is rising, rupee is falling. So what the thing which is rising or falling is basically the exchange rate of our currency, domestic currency, against some other currencies. So what is foreign exchange rate? It is a rate or it is a situation in which price of one currency is expressed in terms of another currency. And basically we have got two ways of expressing this rate or price of one currency against another currency. The first way or first method is when we express the price of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency. For example, first point you can see on your screen, $1 is equal to 50 rupees. So basically domestic currency, units of domestic currency required to purchase 1 unit of foreign currency. And the second way is just the opposite of first way, when we inform that how much units of foreign currency can be purchased through 1 unit of domestic currency. For example, if we take the same exchange rate of $1 is equal to 50 rupees, then 1 rupee will be equal to 2 cents, because $1 is equal to 100 cents, 100 upon 50 is equal to 2. So 1 rupee can buy 2 cents. And generally the practice in economic literature or economic circles is to use the first way, in which the units required of domestic currency to buy 1 unit of foreign currency is used. Now after talking about the basic terminology of the chapter like foreign exchange market and foreign exchange rate, let us move on to the system of exchange rate or exchange rate systems. Means how a country determines the worth of its domestic currency against some foreign currency or some foreign currencies or something. Yeah, keep it in kind of your mind, and I am repeating it again, how one country fixes the value of its own currency against some foreign currency first, or some collection of foreign currencies known as basket second, or against some valuable metal like gold third option. And basically nowadays first or second option are used. The time of third option means when countries used to determine the value of their own currency against gold is passed or has passed after 1971. Now that place of gold has been taken by US dollar, and why is that, what is the mechanism, what were the causes and effect, that is out of the scope of our syllabus, but still that is just for your knowledge. So this determination of one's currency's worth against some other currency or currencies, that mechanism is known as exchange rate system. And generally there are three main exchange rate systems. First is fixed or pegged exchange rate system. Second is the floating or flexible exchange rate system, which is the most popular. And the third one is managed floating or dirty floating exchange rate system. And now comes the first, which is fixed exchange rate system or pegged exchange rate system. And this refers to an exchange rate system in which the value of one country's currency or domestic currency is determined by the government. And how does government determine determines the value by pegging or fixing the value of its currency against a specific currency. For example, and you will get to know the meaning of pegging as well. China always pegs or sets the value of its currency yuan against US dollar. Nowadays, generally speaking, 7 yuan is equal to 1 American dollar. So it is very easy. 7 yuan is equal to 1 American dollar, and 1 American dollar is equal to 70 rupees. So we can say that 7 yuan is equal to 70 rupees, or 1 yuan is equal to 10 rupees. So this is how this fixed exchange rate system or pegged exchange rate system works. You need to remember only one thing, that the exchange rate is determined by government. Okay, and the central bank of a country is always committed. Means, how can we say that $1 will always be equal to 7 yuan? Because the value of dollar keeps on changing. So the central bank of China adjusts the value of yuan against the value of changing dollar. Okay, and what is the benefit of this exchange rate system? It helps in stabilizing the foreign trade and capital movement. For example, let me make it clear by giving you an example. One US company has got two options. It can invest in China and it can invest in India, other things being equal. Just we are talking about foreign exchange rate. Now China opts for fixed exchange rate system while India does not. So what happens is, if an American company is planning to invest $1 billion against its project, then if it invests this $1 billion in China, then it is certain that whether it invests it today, 10 days later, 30 days later, or 3 months later, what will be the value of 1 billion US dollars into China, because exchange rate is fixed. But this cannot be said about India, because the value of Indian rupee changes daily against US dollar. So there is definitely a situation that what is the value of 1 billion US dollars today will definitely not be after 10 days, 30 days, or 3 months. It may be more, it may be less, but that American company is not sure that what will be the exact value after 3 months if it invests in India. So this is the biggest benefit, that whosoever is investing in China knows the exchange rate and it will remain fixed. So it knows what will be the value of its investment in China after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. And that is one of the major causes that why most of the foreign direct investment goes to China, with other reasons as well, but this is the most heavy or strong financial cause that why China attracts so much FDI. Now the second and the most popular exchange rate system, which is flexible or floating exchange rate system. It refers to a system in which exchange rate is determined by market forces of demand for and supply of foreign exchange. The central bank or the government does not interfere in foreign exchange market. Okay, now two things we need to explain a bit further. Like you have seen, it works like every other market in the world. Like if you are going to buy some fruits, vegetables, how their prices are determined. You must have experienced that sometimes one good is expensive and other time it is cheaper. For example, in winter time, ice creams, cold drinks means are a bit less in demand, so company offers different schemes to make those products cheaper. And when summertime comes, they are sold at their MRP. Means when there is less demand, things become cheaper, and when there is more demand, things become expensive. Same logic works in this floating exchange rate system. If one currency is demanded less, it becomes a bit cheaper, and if it is demanded more, it becomes expensive. And now comes the point that rupee is rising, rupee is falling. That is because of the demand of rupee against dollar, or the demand of dollar, because we use the first method, demand of dollar against our rupee. And you need not kind of get confused here, because this is the topic of explanation of somewhere else, but just to make your interest into this. So flexible exchange rate system is that system in which exchange rate is determined by market forces of demand and supply of foreign exchange. Central bank or the government does not interfere, and it is also known as floating exchange rate system. And now comes the last, which is managed floating exchange rate system, which basically is just like the mixture of both. Means it has the characteristic of fixed exchange rate system and also the characteristics of floating exchange rate system. So what is managed floating exchange rate system? If you will give a bit attention to its heading, it is managed floating. Managed means fixed, floating means floating exchange rate system. So it refers to a system in which exchange rate is determined by market forces of demand and supply, just like floating exchange rate system. But in case of extreme fluctuation in foreign exchange rate, central bank intervenes or interferes to stabilize the exchange rate. So here comes the interference of central bank or the characteristic of fixed exchange rate system. So let me summarize. It refers to a system in which the exchange rate is determined by market forces of demand and supply of foreign exchange, but central bank interferes to stabilize the market in case of fluctuations. And generally, how does it works? For example, just for example, India uses the earlier one, which is floating exchange rate system. But just to make you understand, let me take example of India. Central bank or the government decides that, or the market forces decides that the fair exchange rate of Indian rupees against US dollar is 70 rupees. But there happens some extreme things somewhere in the world, like a war or like something else, and because of that the US dollar changes its value, which leads to extreme fluctuation in exchange rate of Indian rupees. For example, it becomes 75 from 70 in a day or two, or 65 from 70 in a day or two. So to manage these fluctuations, till now there was no role of central government, but to manage these fluctuations, because these fluctuations are bad for a lot of people. Why? We will talk later. So to manage these fluctuations, central bank starts buying or selling the US dollar according to the situation to bring normalcy or bring back the exchange rate closer to 70. First thing. And now you must have seen in your screen, it is written like dirty floating. When it becomes dirty floating, it becomes dirty floating when central bank does not interfere actively. Means central bank does not actively participate in stabilizing the exchange rate. Then this managed floating exchange rate becomes dirty floating. So what is managed floating exchange rate? In which exchange rate is determined by market forces of demand and supply, but central bank interferes in case of extreme fluctuations. So before concluding, let me summarize the whole lesson. We talked about foreign exchange market, then foreign exchange rate. When price of one currency is expressed in terms of foreign currency, and generally we express price of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency. Then we talked about different types of foreign exchange systems. Generally there are three: fixed exchange rate system, rate is determined by government; floating exchange rate system, rate is determined by market forces, no government interference; and third, managed floating exchange rate system, rate is determined by market forces of demand and supply, but central bank or government interferes. And whatever we discussed today was to make you understand these systems in a detailed manner. Still, in case of any doubt, you can message me and I can make you understand all these concepts in more detail. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we will start about that rising and falling of rupee part, and how does it affects an economy, and then how does it affects the global markets. So till then, stay healthy, stay inside. Bye.